By the way, the birthday coupon for the courses on building your wealth and the private live streams that I extended to February 2nd, yeah, that's tonight. Since I'm posting this late, I might extend it to like 8 or 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, but that's it. I gotta change it. My birthday's over. Hey everyone, me Kevin here. I have owed you a stimulus update. Wow, and we have tons of updates, so I'm gonna reconcile all of this here and make it right and get you these updates again. So here's the scoop. First, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit the old, okay? I wanna quickly give you an update on the EIDL and the PPP. Then we're gonna talk about the new, and there's a lot to talk about. I really wanna set some expectations here. And that's gonna be very important because I think there's gonna be a lot of crazy info out there, so I think it'll be nice for me to kind of tie this all together. So here's the thing. Let me first say this. The PPP applications have risen 3x since the first time around. What that means is the money's going to run out actually this time. Maybe. Like last time there was a lot of money left in the pot. Applications are up 3x this time. This is because people realize if they have a side hustle, they're an Uber driver, realtor, self-employed worker, in some form they get a 1099, right? They're realizing, oh my gosh, I could get free freaking money. And it's bigger than a stupid tiny check. And so I should apply. When in doubt, apply. That's the big thing. If you're listening to this right now, you got a side hustle, you're like, but Kevin, what about this? Apply. Apply. And then you'll get more answers, right? And I've done big Q&A videos. You can look, me, Kevin, PPP. Look at those Q&A videos. But anyway, 3x application. So this means people are realizing, okay, yeah, we got to apply for this. Not only free money, but the tax savings, really big too. Okay, then. The EIDLs. The EIDL released a new FAQ form. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to read you all of this because it's not worth it. I'm going to give you the bottom line. Two bottom lines. One bottom line is this is linked down below. So if you want to read the whole thing without my highlighting and scribbling on it, you can do that. It's linked down below. I don't know, maybe you want the scribbling, but I didn't put the scribbling on here. And honestly, I don't even know where my pen is right now. Oh, here we go. I couldn't. All right, so the bottom line you got to know about this, it's that the SBA is doing the targeted EIDL. This means that anybody who beforehand is like, oh, anybody's going to be able to get the $10,000. You're going to get the $10,000. It's the SBA screwed us. Again, this is what we expected to happen. The only way you can get the targeted EIDL basically is if you have gotten the EIDL grant before, you are going to be in priority round number 1 to get the full $10,000. If you have not gotten an EIDL grant, nothing to do with the loan here, the grant portion, the advance. If you have gotten it before, again, you're in priority 1. If you have not, you're in priority 2. Priority group 2 has not begun yet. They're closely monitoring round 1. Right now, they have no plans to expand this to anyone else, so they're only going to do the targeted group. And again, for you to know whether or not you were targeted, here you go. Take a screenshot of this right here. Got to have 300 or fewer employees, be in an area, have suffered an economic, they're now defining this rather than an economic decline. They're calling it a reduction in revenue. So not net income, but gross income. Your gross income has declined 30% comparing an 8-week period, before March 22nd, before March 2nd, 2020 to now the now period or the after that period. So comparing those two 8-week periods, if you have a 30% reduction in revenue, cool, great, you apply. And look, sole proprietors, independent contractors, nonprofits, non-farm businesses here, which I don't know why non-farm, but I guess that's how they're dividing it up. And then, again, you also have to be in a federally identified low-income community. This is interesting. They actually seem like they dropped you have to be in a 20% poverty community. They might define it as 20%. It used to be that you would go to metkevin.com/low income, and then you would be able to look at the portal and go, okay, yeah, my community has 22% poverty or 19% poverty. The number would have to be over 20%. This right here, this letter is a little bit of a sign that they might be softening that low income requirement in terms of community or location. So that's going to open the doors up to more people, which is good. And no guarantees that they will soften, but that's just what it reads as now. Okay, now let's go on to the next stimulus package. So here's what's going on. There's a lot going on. Oh, and quickly, I want to say this about the checks. Some of you have reached out saying that basically a big thank you for me reminding you to check your junk mail. And some of you actually did, and you checked your junk mail, and you're like, oh my God, my stimulus check is right here. You got your debit card. Checks are still showing up right now, which is crazy because this was all supposed to happen like the first week of January. It's the first week of February. Like, hello, government, hello. Jeez. Anyway, all right, so here's what's going on. The Senate voted today by a vote, and you might be watching this on Wednesday, so in that case it would be yesterday, but I'm filming this really late on Tuesday. So the Senate voted today by a vote of 50 to 49, with every single Democrat voting in favor of passing a bill, basically, or a resolution that authorizes them to move forward on debating the budget bill. So it's kind of like they've held a vote to hold a vote. Now, you're going to hear a lot of clickbait about this, probably. I even heard somebody today say Nancy Pelosi signed the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. No, we're not even close. We're like probably more than a month away from a package getting signed. Probably like 6 to 8 weeks away from that in realisticness here. So this is literally voting to start writing the bill, which is kind of moronic because I thought we were going to have the bill done on January 20th. But you know, what do I know? I thought we were going to have Biden come into office and goes, here's the bill. No, we're not close. Anyway, this vote today basically means that congressmen and women in the Budget and Finance committees will begin the process of drawing up the $1.9 trillion budget bill. And this is the budget bill because it's really the $1.9 trillion stimulus package. Lindsey Graham is a little upset about this, as saying, this will be the first time that I can recall us spending $1.9 trillion based on one party's view of things, which is kind of ironic because apparently Lindsey Graham forgot that in 2017, Republicans burned Democrats using the 51-vote budget reconciliation process to increase the United States debt, basically, through the tax reductions by $1.891 trillion over 10 years, which 1.891, which is what Republicans did in 2017, is pretty dang similar to $1.9 trillion. Theirs is over 10 years, though, and this 1.9 would be, like, within 6 months, okay? Now, the last few days have been pretty interesting. Yesterday, a group of Republican senators tried to go beat up Joe Biden, and we watched them live give a press conference on, the future of stimulus and how their discussion went. Their press conference sucked. Like, it was stupid. It was, we talked. Because they didn't answer questions. It was a joke. It was really sad. So anyway, nothing really came out of that. They talked with Biden. And Biden basically said, $618? No way, Jose. We need a big, bold package. We are not giving up the $3,000 or $3,600 child tax credits we want. We are not giving up our $2,000 check promise, $1,400 plus $600. And really, the only thing Biden has expressed being willing to reduce are the thresholds for getting the stimulus checks, which Republicans, remember, they want to reduce the checks from $1,400 to $1,000. That would break Biden's promise. I don't see that happening. But then again, crazier things have happened. But Republicans also want to limit the stimulus checks once you reach $50,000 of income if you're solo, which means you don't get a check anymore if you make more than $50K. And they want to limit for couples that to $100,000. So nobody getting six figures basically gets gets this next check, which would be the third check. It's also useful. The Washington Post did a really good piece together of this, so I just want to show this really quick. Look at this. Like, usually I do a flow chart on this, and I'm like, damn, well, this is pretty good, though. Look at this. Direct payments, $465 billion, unemployment insurance, right? This kind of breaks down Biden's $1.9 trillion plan. We've got the aid to state and local governments, the pandemic response, the nutrition programs, the child tax credit. This is a big thing. They really want this. Schools reopening, small business money, rental assistance, child care, and behavioral health services way down here. The Republicans' plan is this, much smaller. They want the direct payments, the pandemic response, the unemployment insurance at a smaller number, small business support, childcare, schools reopening, behavioral health, and nutrition. So obviously much smaller than that, just physically too, because the boxes are smaller. But this is interesting too. The Washington Post did a nice job here. Look at this difference here in priorities. Biden wants $465 billion for checks. GOP wants $220. State and local governments, $350 versus $0. Come on, man. You can't come in with $0. That's just not gonna fly. Like, why are you lowballing? This is like in real estate when you write such a low offer that you basically insult the other side, right? Unemployment insurance, schools reopening, direct pandemic response, child tax credit. You can see the differences here. The school reopening, that's a big difference here in school money. The child tax credit would be totally gone. Come on, you can't kill rental assistance. We're still trying to get the current rental assistance out the door. And you're gonna kill the extra money that they need? Oh, man, it's... Look, you are not at fault for feeling frustrated. Jen Psaki today, the press secretary, emphasized that we need a $1.9 trillion package, and there's nothing that's going to be cut out. The Senate Finance Chair, Ron Wyden, gave us some time frames. He said, quote, we really got to get this bill out in the next, little bit here, and his plan is to get the bill done by early March so they can debate about it for 10 days and then they can vote on it. Remember, we've got the cliff coming up on the Ides of March, March 15th. And right now, the people who are writing the bill are like, yeah, we got to get this done in March. I don't like hearing that because when we hear them set their goal at March, we know it's going to take them longer, so it's probably going to be the end of March, right? We predicted this a while ago, though. You know, they were saying February, and we're like, yeah, right. They're gonna walk this right up to the brink, and hopefully we don't go into April because it's just gonna be ridiculous. Chuck Schumer did say today, and so did Biden. They reiterated this together because Biden, Janet Yellen, and Chuck Schumer had a meeting together. And Biden realizes, look, if we do this $618 billion package, we're basically going to set ourselves up for a big old crisis, a COVID crisis over the next 3 years, which is not good. They don't want to do this. They want to pass the big bill, the $1.9 trillion. Now, in this meeting as well, they also spoke with Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin, this is like the Democrat version of Mitch McConnell. He's got 4 problems because, you know, right now he's kind of like, no, I don't know about that, okay? And his 4 issues are, 1, he really wants the package to be bipartisan. Like he says, look, I just want the 60 votes. This is unlikely to happen, given the fact that Republicans started at 618 bill. Like we were expecting them to come in at $1 trillion, they came in at 618. It's so low, and Democrats are at 1.9. I mean, we are so far apart. We're way more apart than Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin were when Donald Trump was still in office. The second thing, Joe Manchin does not support the $15 minimum wage, which obviously Biden does. And the third thing is he wants more targeted stimulus checks. And number 4, he doesn't want to blow up the filibuster, which would allow Democrats to permanently pass bills with just 51 votes. In other words, Joe Manchin is, as some people say, a Democrat in name only, or a dino. Yeah, so that's what at least some Democrats say, that he is a dino. Dino, whatever. But anyway, Joe is up for re-election in 2024, and Punchbowl News says this is actually not uncommon for Joe Manchin to kind of play the both sides of the aisle game. He's not up for re-election in 2022, so he doesn't really have the election to care about right now. They say that Joe Manchin basically has a, quote, virtual veto here. Joe Manchin also declined to say how large the stimulus package should be, but he did say that, well, it should be bipartisan, it shouldn't have the minimum wage provision, and it should have more targeted stimulus, and it shouldn't affect the filibuster. So basically, he's the whining Republican, I'm sorry, see, we're slipping up here because he's sending such mixed signals. He's the whining Democrat that's causing problems. Mark Short today, who used to work for the Trump administration, gave an interview today, and he said there was no way Democrats were going to be able to pull off the 51-vote bill because parliamentarians would ban Democrats' ability in the Senate to use the 51-vote option, especially if it includes the $15 minimum wage provision. But fear not, Democrats and Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, they're all already saying, oh no, don't worry, we'll be using the 51-vote option. At the same time, Republicans like Roy Blunt and Mitch McConnell are already discussing fighting the reconciliation process, this 51-vote option. They're, with Lindsey Graham also, they're doing this to really prepare. Later this week, there's going to be something called a vote-a-rama, and this is where any senator can literally go, oh, that's your budget reconciliation plan? I have an amendment. I want ducks to get $1 million. And they can kind of like delay the process by coming up with ridiculous amendments. It could be anything. They could be legit amendments, they could be ridiculous amendments. And then they have to debate these, and it's a process, it's a disaster. This is, by the way, why I've mentioned on this channel that the reconciliation process is a lot easier. Or, I'm sorry, it's a lot more complicated. It's not as easy as just going, we just need 51 votes, let's do it. No, like the actual procedure of getting through this, like all the steps they have to get through to use their, one of their 9 budget reconciliation punch card options here. Complicated, tricky, hard, not easy, okay? Anyway, that's the update for now. Check out the coupon code down below. And folks, thank you so very much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.